Listen properly.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Foodsack Files, the show that pokes the bear, rattles the cage, and says what others are too scared to say. First of all, just a reminder, if you'd prefer to rather jump straight to the main story, feel free. You can check where it starts on the timeline I've posted. But I promise, everything preceding the main story are worth sticking around for. Now, before we dive into today's explosive subject, and before we hand out today's Empty Skull Award, here's a quick reminder. I share a short excerpt from one of my books at the end of every episode. If it leaves you wanting more, which I'm sure it will, you can order a PDF copy of either book by simply emailing me at author.skulk@gmail.com. They're 75 Rand each. That's, listen properly, 200 Rand less than retail, or 125 Rand for both, which is a full 400 Rand less than retail. And every cent goes to the animal charity I support, which feeds and cares for feral fur babies who are completely dependent on human compassion to survive. A special thanks to the viewers who had ordered copies. I really appreciate it. And just a reminder, if you prefer printed copies, just let me know and I will send you the prices. They make for great Christmas gifts, and did I mention I will even sign them for you. So, do please stick around for another riveting excerpt from my book, straight after the main story. Now, it's time to award the Empty Skull Award to the biggest empty skull who has truly outdone themselves in recent events. So, without further ado, the Empty Skull Award goes to our resident clown and national embarrassment. No, not Julius, but Fokole Mbalula. Just hear what this full-blown empty skull has just said. You really have to sit for this one. He said, the ANC unequivocally condemns Kali Kriel and AfriForum for their latest actions, which constitute a reckless, racist and deliberate campaign to undermine South Africa's sovereignty, discredit lawful state institutions, and incite fear through manufactured disinformation. This conduct is no longer French rhetoric. It is a calculated political project aimed at destabilizing our democracy and fracturing social cohesion. Fokole, Fokole, Fokole. You are basically going after Kali Kriel for merely reporting what actually happened and what American officials at the site of the raid reported back to the US government. You conveniently keep on leaving out a tiny detail that your empty-skulled foot soldiers were, instead of focusing on the so-called illegal Kenyans, they focused instead on getting the register with the names and details of Afrikaners who had dared to betray the shithole in favor of a country that will offer them freedom we don't have in this country anymore. We get your message, dumbass. You've just yet again confirmed that freedom of speech and merely reporting on your actions are now literally being considered a treasonous act. What should be treasonous instead is having someone as moronic as you in any official position where anything you spew out from your foul mouth makes it into the public domain. Seriously. From what hole did they dig out this worm? Okay, that's it. Let me just take a sip of my drip of coffee to calm down. Okay. Now back to the main story. I never thought I would reach this point, but I have. I've lost the last bit of confidence I had in the Democratic Alliance. No doubt, not concern, confidence. Since joining the government of national unity, they've abandoned who they are, or worse, they've revealed who they have actually become. The DA used to stand as a bulwark against ANC abuse of power. Today, they are doing the ANC's dirty work for them, smiling while they do it and calling it governance. The best example of their capitulation was when Johnny Boy Steenhuisen publicly supported Cyril Couch Potato Ramaphosa by, instead of holding Squirrel to account, echoing the ANC's absurd diplomatic arrogance by agreeing that the US Embassy's charge d'affaires was too junior to accept the G20 handover. Can you freaking believe it? That wasn't DA policy. That was ANC snobbery, repeated word for word. And let's be honest, when you're earning an annual 2 million rand bribe, it becomes very easy to start confusing principle with comfort. Power is a way of coloring behavior, and right now it's coloring everything the DA does. But Johnny Boy isn't the only one who clearly turned into a cheap ANC hired help. No. Leon Schreiber, DA Home Affairs Minister, went even further by ordering a full-scale operation against the US government-run refugee processing center over 7 Kenyan nationals. It was an oversized mobilization of empty-skulled officials. What? To arrest 7 Kenyans? But here's the thing. South Africans are not stupid, and Americans even less. We all know that Leon's empty-skulled mob's main target wasn't the 7 Kenyan workers. No, their target was the register with the names and details of refugee applicants. Applicants who will undoubtedly later be labeled and even possibly be charged as traitors. Yes, traitors. The empty-skulled ANC's favorite little word in their very limited vocabulary. Leonkie, we accept that you are struggling with basic comprehension a little bit, but just a bit of free advice from someone with actual law enforcement experience. You only need to send your empty-skulled officials into any township to find a large number of illegal aliens, thousands more than the 7 Kenyans you believed justified a national operation. That pathetic show of force just illustrated selective enforcement, political theatre, and dancing perfectly to the ANC master's tune. The DA's fall from grace is perfectly represented by its 2 ministers, 2 sellouts with one outcome: DA credibility destroyed. But I must say, I really lost it when I saw yet another CADA official, apparently the spokesperson, who have also crept up into the ANC's stinking asses. This dumbass replica, DA spokesperson Ryan Smith, echoed and amplified the very actions that have destroyed the DA's credibility. Just have a look at what expert opinion he had to share.
You know, it wasn't an attack by the South African government or a sort of attempt to impede the program itself. It's merely South Africa saying, hey, look, we've got immigration laws. You need to adhere to them if you're going to conduct your operations in South Africa.
Ryan, just a tiny bit of advice. Next time, maybe just put away your dirty laundry first, even if what you shared was your incompetent Home Affairs Minister's dirty laundry. Now, here's the part many are afraid to say out loud, but I'm going to say it. The DA has grossly betrayed Afrikaners. Afrikaners who voted for the DA because they believed in constitutionalism, in property rights, in accountability, in standing up to the ANC, not serving it. Those voters were not looking for blue-clad ANC deputies. They were looking for resistance, They were looking for spine. They didn't get it. And that's why I'm saying this clearly and unequivocally. Afrikaners who supported the DA should withdraw that support. They should place it behind the Freedom Front Plus on one condition, that the Freedom Front Plus leave the cesspool that is the GNU. Because you don't reform corruption by swimming in it. You don't fight the ANC by governing like them. And you don't protect voters by betraying them quietly. The DA didn't lose my vote overnight. They lost it decision by decision, compromise by compromise, excuse by excuse. This is not the DA I supported. This is not an opposition. And it's not the future South Africans were promised. And I'm not alone. Traditional DA voters are seeing what's happening, and they're not happy campers. They're furious, really the blikseming, because they didn't want their vote to end up as support for the ANC. But okay, what do you think? Please share your comments. Do you still trust the DA? Am I wrong, or are they ANC puppets now, dancing to their ANC master's tune? If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, because the next chapter is one you don't want to miss. Now it's time for another riveting excerpt from my second book, Dear Special Agent Hunter McCullum, Mission South Africa. I hope you enjoy it, I'm sure you will. But until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and be ready. Cheers.
To my surprise, I found Agent Larner in Don's office. Without even a greeting, I blurted out, "Larner, you have no idea how glad I am to see you." Larner's expression softened.
"I'm sorry about your source, Hunter. It sucks. Believe me, I speak from personal experience. A police source sent me the pictures of his car, and it's bad. The driver's door is riddled with bullet holes, and there are streaks of blood running down the side all the way to the bottom. He didn't stand a chance."
His voice held a rare note of compassion. I nodded, absorbing his words before shifting gears. "You'll be interested in what I've got, Larner. Anton ran the plates of the assassin's car, but they came up empty. No surprises there, but I have footage of their faces." Larner's eyes widened in disbelief.
"You're kidding. How did you get that?"
I smirked. "Don't worry about how I got it. What can we do with it?" He shrugged, his expression darkening.
"Not much. Not officially, anyway. The South African State Security Agency probably ordered the hit. No, let me rephrase that. They definitely did. I have no doubt in my mind. We'll have to handle this the way we handle our other enemies."
Whoa!
Don, who had been quietly observing, suddenly interjected.
What's heard can never be unheard, and I don't want to end up having to answer to a congressional committee of inquiry.
Not even Hunter will have any idea of the plan I have in mind, but I suspect he'll appreciate the outcome.
Larner said, turning to me.
"If you really trust the CIA to handle what needs to be done, just hand me that stick, and we won't discuss this further. All I ask is for a bit of patience."
Without hesitation, I handed over the stick. "Do what needs to be done. I'll forever be in your debt," I replied. Larner left the room in silence. As I watched him go, a flicker of optimism surfaced. I glanced at Don, who raised his hands, like someone surrendering, in a gesture that clearly said, "Leave me out of this."